Okay, hello, everyone. Wow, today we are here. We are here in Indianapolis, Indiana, for a Power Pack conference called the Double Honor Conference here at Covenant House. And we have some special guests in the building. We have the Winlos. Woo! And we are so excited. Yes, we're so excited to have you. We just want you to introduce yourself to the audience and tell them your names.
Okay, so I'm Winlie or J.K. Ray.
Got it.
Yeah.
And I'm Oisa Jekere, and we are called the Winlos.
Yeah.
How did you come up with the name the Winlos?
Now,
Revelation from God. Went to the mountain and God spoke. Okay, just joking.
so apparently when we got married 10 years ago.
Okay.
So we had a friend. She came from the U.S. Okay. They gave birth to her in the U.S. over here. She came over to Nigeria, and she found it difficult pronouncing Ois and Awole.
Yeah.
So she just now.
So she just summarized our name. So she was like, Awole, we, Ois. And she just combined it and she called us Winlos.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you
So when
stuck
she
with
sees
it.
me, she says, Mr. Winlos. And she's my wife, Mrs. Winlos. She was very comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And that's how we got the name.
That's how, just like
So
that.
when we wanted to start this ministry,
Yes.
so we decided to adopt the name, the Winlos.
You took
so
it
that's
and you
how
ran with it.
Yeah, that's
Wow,
how it came about.
beautiful.
So the Winlos is basically the combination of Ois and Awole.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Or J.K.
We love it. Okay, so we're here to have a little discussion, something light. We're talking about Christian dating and marriage 101. And we know that you all are professional marriage and relationship counselors and experts. And so we know we're in the right hands today for this conversation.
Yeah.
So we want to kind of split it up kind of briefly in 3 topics. So we want to talk about how to date, then how to locate your forever mate, and then how to keep your marriage great.
Okay.
And so we'll start with how to date. I'm just going to ask a few personal questions, if you don't mind.
Personal, okay.
How old were you when you started dating?
I didn't see that coming up.
Okay, we actually got married when I was 27.
Is it when we started dating?
Yes,
Okay.
when you started dating.
So I'm trying to trace it now.
Okay.
So I know I got married to my wife when I was 27.
Okay.
And we courted for 2 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got it for 2 years.
So that's like you were 25?
So I was 25
I was
when
23.
I started. Yeah, so
Wow.
she was 23.
So I guess my question now is there a right age to start dating?
Okay, we get this question a lot, though. Okay, so I wouldn't say there is a right age, but I would say there is a ready age.
Okay.
So, now I cannot imagine a 10 years old dating. As much as we're not going to specify on the age, but a 10 years can wake up and say, I'm ready, right? So you need to understand what readiness is,
Okay.
But we would not encourage a 10 years old saying, I want to date. No matter how, in quotes, you may be exposed to life,
Right.
you may even feel, there are some 10 years I feel like they're mature, but it's not wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you understand? It's not wise for you to be 10 years and you're dating. It's not even wise for you to be 13 years. Yeah. Even if you're a teenager
Yeah.
to start dating. So the readiness is, are you ready for the commitments? Because
marriage.
for marriage, because you're not just waking up to just date because you want to date.
Right.
Yeah. So there has to be a motive,
A
a
reason.
purpose
Yes.
for your dating.
Yes.
It is the purpose for your dating that forms your choice
That's true.
and your readiness. So you need to ask yourself, even if you haven't 20, you may not even be ready.
Right.
That's the truth. So am I really ready for commitment? Am I mature to handle the responsibility that that comprises of what it means to, have another person in your life.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So these are the things that forms readiness. Am I mature?
Okay.
Do I feel like I'm open enough to take responsibility and all of that?
Emotionally intelligent.
Am I emotionally intelligent? Am I emotionally
That's
ready
a good
for
one.
it? So you need to check your reason. You need to check your purpose. So
Then, however,
Yeah.
society has told us that the age for adulthood
yeah,
starts from
18.
Yes.
True.
So what it means is that I know you may think that, before I'm 18, I think I'm matured enough to get married and all those stuff. but society will not allow you engage in anything that is if you're not up to 18, society will not allow you.
Yeah, so
engage
18
in
is
anything.
adulthood.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
so what it means is that you can't drive your wife if you're not 18. What it means that you probably may not be able to open a bank account.
Right. No
There are
money.
certain things you may not
be able to do. Yeah.
So adulthood actually starts from 18.
18, that's generally
So,
accepted.
yeah, generally accepted. So now when we now get to that 18, it doesn't mean that, I'm 18.
Now
I'm
I'm
now,
ready.
Yeah,
I'm now
not
ready.
ready. You get.
So it's at this point we now talk about maturity.
Okay.
Am I matured enough? So there are 40-year-old people that are not even matured.
Oh, yes.
And there are 18 years people that are even more matured.
Oh,
than,
yes.
So talk about maturity, talk about responsibility.
Yeah.
How can I handle responsibility?
Yeah.
If you are good with that, then I think you should get married.
Yeah, so basically, it's not in the growing old, it's in the growing up. Because you can
Yeah.
be growing old, but not
But you're
growing
not
up.
growing
You're
up,
not
true.
mature. So
Yeah.
it's not, age doesn't necessarily equate maturity.
That's so
Yeah.
good.
So-
Okay. So my next question is, what did your dating life look like? When you started to date, what did it look like?
Well, at the beginning, I don't know if this happens to almost everyone, but at the beginning it was really sweet. It just shocked me, like very exciting. And for my husband, then then it was chasing me. That kind of thing. He will call me, can call me like 5 times a day, but when we got really serious, like it's we're getting older into it, like 6 months,
Yeah.
7 months, I'll be like, sweet, I've not heard from you, that kind of thing.
And I can really tell why.
Yeah.
Why?
When you start dating, the truth is that we are, first of all, we are the excitement stage. I usually call that the
Yeah, the
excitement
excitement
stage.
stage, true.
But after that stage, there's the
reality
questioning stage.
True.
Where we need to ask sensitive questions. We cannot just be all excited and get into marriage. You are going to miss out on it. So this excitement stage, we have to give it to the reality stage.
Okay.
True.
It
seems like you copied my notes. This revelation,
So you're first of all excited, you're getting ice cream from a different fast food joint and all. Then it's getting done on you that I'm going to get married to this person.
Reality kicks in.
Then at this point you need to start asking questions.
Yeah.
What do you do? Can you take care of the family?
Yeah.
What's your genotype?
Yeah.
We were just talking about that last week. Is it
really?
important to ask that?
Yeah, very, very important.
early?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very
It's very important.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to journey so deep into love and then find out that genotype wise, you guys are not compatible.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you pull out? It's really very
Yeah.
painful. So at the beginning, it's very necessary
Okay.
that you ask such a
So,
question.
which church are we going to be attending? Because when you start asking these questions, conflict will start.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
So those excitement you're talking about
Yeah.
will no longer be there.
Yeah.
Ours, we had these church issues as at that time as
Yeah.
well, because
True.
we needed to ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly I became a pastor before I got married,
Yeah.
and my wife never wanted to get married to a pastor.
Nah, never.
Now I got married. I started pastoring in a church where they don't allow you wear trousers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be the pastor's wife, you're not going to wear your
Skirts
trousers.
only.
Yeah, it's only going to be
And
skirt, and you have to
skirts.
tie your hair.
Yeah.
Wow.
So now I met my wife wearing trousers. I love her on trousers,
Like that.
and I don't want her to cover her hair. So we had this conflict. Was she going to get married to me and lose her standard? So these conflicts, we had it there. So this is the period where you need to start asking a lot of questions.
Okay.
Do you want to travel abroad?
Yeah.
Where are we going to be based?
Yeah.
So we have to start checking how compatible
True.
we are and our values.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to have sex before marriage, and this other person saying, no, I don't want to have sex. Conflict has started already.
Yes.
So it's at this point we usually ask a lot of questions. Then reality comes and that sets in.
True.
So reality means that, am I going to accept this person for who this person says he is, or I'm going to let go?
True.
Then when you now see that, okay, I can now compromise certain things. Like my wife had to compromise on the fact that I'm going to follow my husband.
Yeah, I really could do without trousers. For
Yeah,
real. Yeah.
So I'm going to pay this sacrifice
Wow.
for, to get married to me,
Yeah.
which she had to compromise. Do you want to compromise? Can I live with the person's baggage that I've seen so
Forever.
far?
Yeah.
Then when you are done with that, then you can go. So that was what our dating life was all about.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the excitement, the questioning, and the realities.
Yeah.
You know, then we got married.
So there are stages in dating.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess now that leads me to how to locate your forever mate. Now,
That's a book. That's a book.
so this one is where we get really into the nitty gritty. So you had her, right? And you were dating. Did you have other options when it came to marriage? When you were, as far as your deciding factor?
Okay.
How, as a young person, do you go about knowing that, okay, she is the one, he is the one?
Okay, so I'll just try to summarize. Okay, so for me, you know, I think it starts with what you really need. What are
First
you?
of all, did you have options?
Yes, I did. I had options.
She had
Oh,
a
yes,
lot
I
of
did. I had a lot. Oh, yes.
And I think I was the least on our options.
Yes, oh man, yeah, true. If I wanted to go physical, it was a list. I don't even know if I said list or it wasn't even there. I don't even know if I would say list or I don't know if it was there. Because, so many things, right? Number one was, you know, first of all, physics, you know, it wasn't my type.
Okay.
I didn't like that guys.
Really?
Oh no, I like the fair guys.
Okay.
Yes, and then his accent. So I wanted a guy that, you know, when he calls my name, only, you know, my English name is Cordelia, so I like the Cordelia. You know, just create something, a name around. You know, that kind of thing we read in novels, right? And then when you make a phone call, you know, I should feel something go down my spine. You know, that
Chills.
touch, that chills. Heaven, yeah, experience. You know, so that kind of thing. So that's what I really wanted. But when I met him, and then he was now broke, to add it up. Yeah, so the guy was broke, you know. He was just, you know. So I'm like, God, what is all this? You know, that kind of. So I had options. I mean, I met guys who are taking me to the best restaurants, taking me to places that, you know. So I really I was a single person who was in between. Like, I had so many persons, you know, that were on the list. But somehow, what made him stand out, and that's what made me know that he was the right person, was, first of all, I knew where I was going to. Like, I had a picture of the marriage I wanted as a person. I wanted a Christian marriage. I wasn't the kind of lady that would say, a Christian, you know, that kind of thing. They can just say, oh, I need a Christian marriage. It just flat. But I knew I couldn't compromise on it.
Yeah.
Did I meet Christian guys? Yes, I did. But they did not have the right standard. Oh, yes. You can meet people in church, people who say they are Christians, they talk Christians, but they don't live standard. So I met them. So I knew I was going to. So I knew for sure that I was not going to compromise. I wanted a Christian marriage. So therefore, I needed a Christian guy. I didn't want a guy who would talk Christian. I wanted to see his fruits. I wanted to see his standard. I wanted to see the lifestyle he lives and everything. I wanted to observe. So I was observing. First of all, I started with a picture of what I wanted. Two, I was observing. I was observing. Somebody is hearing me now. I might say, oh, what if there's a distance? You will know. Through the conversations, your communication, the things he says beyond what he says, beyond what she says. So, number one, I knew I was going to. I had a picture of the kind of man. Two, I knew I want to get married to a Christian person. So, I watched out for the fruit. I observed the fruit. And then three, I watched for non-negotiables. I say it a lot. That's, he may not have dressed, he may not have had the good swag, the good dress sense, you know, all put together. He may have been broke, but he was working hard. I met him. I met a focused person. So I went out with, I chose him because when I kept on observing him, I saw a man who stuck with his values, you know, who was also diligent. He was so focused on what he wanted to achieve. Do you understand? So those were the things that actually made me, you know, go for him. Then he was hardworking. I don't encourage someone who just, you know, has faith but no works. The man was working. He was very hardworking. He was very focused on the things he wanted to do in life. So that was why that's what made me know that this man is the right person. Yeah. And when he talked about where he was going, you know, I could fit in.
You saw yourself there.
Yes, I could fit in, I could really fit in there. He had a ministry call, even though I didn't want to marry a pastor, but I had dreams. I've had prophecies, somehow. So even though my flesh was struggling with it, I just knew that this was the right, space to be. So
And now she's tied.
and now I'm tired.
So it's important to know yourself, know what you need
know what
and
you
want
need, know what you want.
to choose.
Yeah,
Now, what
so-
about you, Pastor Oz?
So for me, don't compromise preference over purpose. Yeah,
that's good.
so you can have people you prefer, like preference my main. Maybe I wanted the pink lips.
Yes.
I wanted a fair guy. I wanted someone else smooth. But purpose will always have values. Purpose always has standards.
Yes.
Purpose will always, a man who is of purpose will be diligently wanting to achieve, wanting to fulfill it. And marriage is boring without purpose, actually. So that's it for me.
So basically, for me, we were friends we're friends in church.
Okay.
So I actually met her during my youth service in Nigeria. I was going to serve my country for 1 year.
Okay.
So I traveled to the state where she was. So I was serving in church then. So that's how we met. So we're just working the media department, drama department, and a lot. But then she wasn't my type. Though she said I wasn't her type.
Yes.
She wasn't my type
Yeah.
as well. So I wanted a lady that has front and back. You know that, right? You know that, right?
You see.
Yeah. So she doesn't have all that. As at that time, she's trying now.
How are you?
She has talked, so let me talk. So she didn't have all that. So I wasn't even looking at that direction, So, but then I got those physical specs. They all came around, but then I realized that, like she said, your preference, you must weigh your preference to your purpose.
Yeah.
So I realized that we're not connecting when it comes to purpose. So I needed to ask myself, was it just all about the physical, that I want? I'm going somewhere. I need a woman that is going to my direction, So the one day, out of frustration, I really was praying to God as regards settling down, my purpose, and I told God I really want to get married early. Then sincerely, I heard God said, have you considered my daughter, Amole?
Wow.
Just in my quiet prayer, So for the first time, a thought came to my mind. We're working together in church, we're doing ministry together. So what's wrong with me? What am I looking for? Why am I so carnal, just thinking about my flesh? And, I can't just think beyond that. I was like, Holy Spirit, I'm sorry. And why is it taking me this long?
Yeah.
I should have been married since now.
How long did you know her before the Lord spoke to you?
Not like almost
say like 2 years.
2 years.
Wow.
That's like 2 years. We're friends.
We're friends,
very
like
good friends.
quarrel, everything. We're friends.
Yeah, very, very good
Serve in
friends.
church
So,
together.
so we're so close that if she gets a guy comes to her life, she comes to tell me.
Yeah, and me too.
Really?
Then if I see this girl,
Yes.
I come to tell
We're
her.
just
We're just close.
Really?
So
Oh
we
my
just knew that
goodness.
we can't marry.
Yeah.
We're just that friends.
Yeah.
So it was then I decided that I was going to pray about it. Then I'll reach out to her, So which I finally did.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long, like 3 days. She gave me a yes.
You're always reducing it.
No. She actually told me that she was going to give me a yes that day. But because it's not right for a lady to give a guy a yes that
I need
day,
to
that's why
fall.
she needed to
Like,
fall.
you know.
You
Exactly.
understand? Because I was a hot guy.
That's why I gave you a yes.
Just to cool you down.
No, see,
Hey, God,
Wow. That is an amazing story. And I love how you just mentioned that it's not all about what you see physically or for the now, but you have to think for your tomorrow. And you have to, what I love is that you both were in purpose before you involved yourself with someone else. So you knew exactly clearly the direction you were going.
Yeah.
So it wasn't super difficult once you got together to, and look at where we are.
Yeah.
True.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And so I guess I have another question. how did you keep Jesus at the center of your dating life?
Well, I mean, that was us before we got married, right? Okay, how did you? Sorry, come again.
Yeah.
How did you keep Jesus at the center?
At the center.
Oh yeah. So we had our
him at the
rules.
core.
Yeah, I get it. We had our rules. We had a culture in our relationship. We had a culture. So every Friday, we'll always pray and fast.
Wow.
Yes, we talked about it. We
So
agreed.
we did that for a year plus.
We did that,
before
different for a
got
year plus before we got married consistently. We didn't miss a day. Yes. And we're not in the same city, so we're in different locations. So we'll call on phone.
Wow.
Yeah, we never missed a Friday without praying and fasting.
How important is it to develop those values before you get married?
Oh yeah, it's very important because what you're used to, your custom, that you consistently build becomes a custom flow even in your marriage.
That's good.
And scripture made this clear. It said, do not despise the gathering of brethren. The truth is that it is iron that sharpens iron. So we should always learn to be at the right place at the right time. So one thing that really shaped us was that we're very committed in church. So also my wife, she was very committed in church. So for this while, we have built this custom to always fellowship with God.
Okay.
The truth is that as believers, it's very easy to say Jesus was the center of our relationship, and we don't feel to say that we did have our struggles. We had our struggles.
We did, yes.
There were times in our relationship I'm like, God, babe, I feel like holding you. I feel like,
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
God, I can't just...
That's real. That's real.
So I can't just wait for us to get married and get this thing done. But the point is this, we shared similar values.
And that helped a lot.
Yeah, that helped a lot. You can't be in a relationship with somebody that you're sharing your godly values, but this other person is struggling with the godly values.
So I mean, your individual values that you agree on is what forms a culture.
Yes.
So once you don't have that.
Yeah. So when the flesh comes to play, both of you can talk about it. Both of you can encourage yourself. Because there's something you are looking forward to. So I think that's what really, really helped us. Then we're really, really busy.
Yeah.
Really, really busy with God's work. So there was no time for idleness.
That's good. So now 10 years later, we're here, right?
Yeah, 10 years
So
later.
you've been married for 10 years, and I'm sure those 10 years have been full of a lot of experiences,
Oh yes,
right?
a lot.
And so how have you maintained your marriage thus far? From the time you got married till 10 years later, how do you maintain yourself in your
I
marriage?
think my husband should start.
Okay, I like the fact that we're online because we have a lot of social media people usually like, oh, Winlos, I love your marriage. I wish your marriage was like our marriage. I wish I get married to someone like you guys and all those stuff. The truth is that we had our peculiar challenges.
Yeah.
Okay.
From where we started 10 years ago, even up to this moment, we're still getting to know ourselves. We're still getting to love ourselves better.
Yeah.
So basically, what has kept us so far is that our focus had been on Jesus.
Okay.
Like I said yesterday during the meeting, we understand the fact that our marriage is not just about both of us. There's a third person in our marriage, which is Christ.
Yeah.
So whenever we see Christ in our marriage and see the sacrifices he paid for us and how he never gave up on us, it gives me the reason why I shouldn't give up on my wife.
Yeah,
True.
that's good.
And it gives my wife the reason why she shouldn't give up on me.
Yeah.
That's good.
Because if you see Christ in the picture, it's going to help you.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to court and see people that are divorcing,
Yeah.
many of those people that are divorcing, the reason why they divorce, they are not really tangible reasons. Some are things that you can just, then you say, irreconcilable difference. So I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Myself and my wife, we have a lot of irreconcilable difference for the past 10 years. There are some till date we can't.
You just compromise.
Yeah.
For example, I'm a very scattered person. My wife is for 10 years it's been like that. She has tried to change me. It's not happening. So we can call that irreconcilable difference. And we have a lot of irreconcilable difference.
Yeah,
but
true.
the point is this: when you see that Christ never gave up on you,
Yeah, true.
it gives you that reason why you shouldn't give up on your partner.
True.
That's good.
True.
You know, so I think that's what has really helped us these years. You know, our focus has been on Jesus, and He has been helping us.
And then I just want to just add this. My husband has said, in fact, he has actually said it. That's key, very striking. But I just want to just say this thing. Many people get into marriage trying to use the beginning season of their marriage to journey through the marriage. Now, in marriage, there are different seasons. There is a time where it is just you and your husband, you and your spouse. There's a time where it's the pregnancy stage. There is a time where it's the children stage. There is a time where it's the brokenness stage. There's a time where it's so much. So you need to understand each season. There are attitudes for different seasons.
That's good.
There are structures for different seasons. You know, I also want to say this. In line with seasons, when you understand seasons, you understand love language. Now, so because the love language, my husband knew some of my love languages, you know, some have changed. You know, before we got married, after I'd given birth, we had given birth and all of that. It's not the same. Some things change. You know, same thing with my husband. So if I want to love on him with when I met him, and not understanding that when seasons change, we have to adapt to seasons and see how we can create a structure that, you know, that moves with it. You know, we can begin to fault and force the previous season into the next season or the future season, and so we miss out on a lot of things. We won't know what to let go of. We won't know what to pay sacrifice to. You know, we won't know the structure to put in. So we need to understand that there are seasons. If you want to maintain the success of your marriage, you must know that there are seasons.
That's good.
The way you will pray when it's just you and husband is different from when you pray when you have children. Different from when you pray when you're pregnant. So you know, so many things like that.
So the way you have sex when you were single, I'm sorry,
when you got married. Good.
From when you have sex when you have kids.
Exactly, it's different.
So a lot of things change.
A lot of things is from when the woman is pregnant to when she has children. So you don't expect the woman who was vibrant with sex, you know, all of that, to be all of that in pregnancy or when they are kids. So this is where a lot of spouses miss it. So
communication when
it's
there's
very
plenty
important
is different from communication
when
there's
few, when there's nothing. So when you don't understand these seasons, you won't know, and that's why communication is key, like my husband mentioned. Understanding it so that you can talk about it and create the necessary structure needed for each season. Seasons are not the same in marriage. Just like there are different stages in dating, so also there are different stages in marriage.
I think that's deep.
Yeah, that's
You copied my notes.
so good.
You always steal my Rema.
Literally all the questions that you answered all the questions. So literally it's about adaptability.
Adaptability is very
learning
key.
your partner.
Very key.
Forever learning. You're a student forever.
That's true.
As long as
you're a student forever. That's the word. Very true.
And I think that word is key. I think the summary of everything for marriage is seasons.
Yes.
You know, because you just keep growing and keep growing and keep growing.
Yes.
There are times that we usually do not plan for certain things. They might become sick.
There's emergency. There's so much.
There's an accident. Changes the course of things. You know, so in as much as a lot of people try to fit marriage confession on the altar for better, take it for what it is, for better, for worse. You know, because anything can
happen. There'll be days.
So you must learn to adapt to seasons.
That's good.
You know, so like the way we adapt when it's winter and then summer, we have the clothes for winter, we have the clothes for summer. So it's marriage as well too. We can't fate it and say it's winter and it's going to be winter for winter. No, for winter.
You see a lot
summer.
of that now.
You
change
get
the vows.
You get that. So let's not change the vows. Let's face the reality of things. Because that's what marriage is all about.
That's what it's about.
God instituted it. We are not the one that did. He instituted it. So the Bible says that He sees the end of a thing from the beginning. So He knows already, and He has made provision, resources for us to accommodate whatever comes, so that we can be strong.
That's good.
True.
That's good.
So because one time a couple came to meet us for counseling. My husband may have forgotten, and he was complaining. My wife is not vibrant with prayers. When I got married to her, she was vibrant. Now she's pregnant. You have to wake up. She's so lazy. Look at him. I'm like, seriously? Because you are trying to force something. Like, you don't expect someone, who was vibrant in prayers, you know, when she wasn't pregnant, to be so vibrant again. And then you have to use words and tell her she's lazy. And don't you understand seasons? Seasons put structure. You can, there are other things that you can do. There are other times you can make you. So at that point in time, you have to soar towards her direction so that she can be all sane in it and also build that culture. So that's it. Understanding, lack of understanding is what brings a lot of unhealthy conflicts, because there are some conflicts that are healthy and necessary.
Yeah.
There are some that are just unhealthy. They are very unnecessary.
Yes.
Very
Wow.
unnecessary.
That's good. I think I have one more question for you all. Okay. So, we're talking about a little bit like conflict in marriage, right? So they say, don't expose your business outside of your home. But then how do you balance that and actually having accountability in your marriage?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I get it. Like, so don't expose your marriage.
Like third party, when we decide, as pastors, when we join couples, one of the points we usually tell them is that don't expose your marriage to third party.
Right.
So a lot of couples usually take that literally to mean that third party means that don't talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that can be very dangerous.
Right.
Third party, if we want to define third party in marriage, we can say third party are those people that want to poke nose into your marriage,
run your marriage
want to control
down.
your marriage, they want to change the values of your marriage. So you really need to be careful with those kind of people. And they could be close friends, they could be relatives, they could be anybody, Then the other way around is the fact that it is important that you need an experienced person to guide you. And this experienced person could be a friend who is matured. It could be a family member who is matured. It could be your pastor who is matured, And as well, it could be anybody as well, too. So you actually still need somebody to talk to.
Yeah. Okay.
For example, when we started our relationship, we had a mentor we submitted our relationship to.
Okay.
And it was very helpful.
Good.
One of the reasons, because we had a lot of reasons why we didn't have sex before marriage. One of the reasons was that we had this accountability partner. So he was checking on me. I remember one night he called me and said, "Oh, where are you?" I said, "I was with my wife around 9. 9? What's wrong with you? You guys, So
then we're not married.
Then we're not married, So I had somebody I was accountable to who was watching over me. Now we got married. We still have accountability partner even till today.
That's good.
If my husband misbehaves like that,
Yes,
I have called
to report.
As when we're in Arizona, my wife reported me
to one of our mentors.
to our mentor, reported me that I was not trying, I wasn't doing well, So I just say yes. I sure they were bashing me.
And I was enjoying it when it's not on your side. You enjoy it.
I took it in good faith. It is very important. Scripture made it clear. It said, in the multitude of counsel, there is safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it is important that there's this one person or two that you can confide in.
Confidence, they won't judge
that you can talk to, who can really help your marriage. That they are sincere to you. It's very difficult to get. Then let me make something clear as well too. That the person is your pastor doesn't mean that
the person is a good marriage counselor.
Is the person for you.
Yes, true.
That's good.
That's
good.
So a lot of people just say, okay, it's my pastor, so they just quickly go jump into the person and all the stuff, and check the person's marriage. Check how the person manages the home.
Check the person's mindset regarding marriage.
The mindset as regard marriage. That the person is a pastor does not make the person qualified for that. So if the person has a very terrible mindset for marriage, there's tendency that it's going to influence you for that. So I think
so they are counselors and they are counselors. CANCLOR.
Counselors.
Yeah,
wow. I hope we got that.
Counseling.
So you have to be careful, right? Both start with C, but they're not the same thing.
Exactly. That's so good. So I think we're coming to the end of the conversation. I just want to throw it open. Any general advice, tips at all that you can give to us?
So I would just say, don't... when you have the right principles for choosing right, also live by the right principles for keeping the right person.
That's good.
So because it doesn't, I will say it again, it doesn't always end on choosing right. Many people complain when they get married and say, but I chose right, I don't know what's happening. If you check it, when people get married, they forget the right principles they should live by. So there are principles that govern the success of marriage. So whilst you choose right, with the right principles, when you get into marriage, live with the right principles, and God will help you.
That's good. Pastor Owis, anything?
Okay. for me, I feel that, okay, my opinion for marriage is that wait until it's God's time. You know, a lot of us, we usually check our time. We're so quick to check our time. Like it's getting late, I'm clocking 30, I'm clocking 40, I've not found a life partner. So we want to now compromise and just go for anything that comes, anybody, you know. But the point is this, scripture made it clear, it said, he makes all things beautiful in his time. And not our time. You know, so many times, a lot of us, we just take God's wristwatch of our life, pull it off,
and put our own on.
Yeah, put our own on. You know, so God makes things beautiful in his time. So can we just patiently wait for his time? And I like the fact that he said he makes it beautiful. You know, I like when God is the one that decorates you. You know, he makes things. And scripture made it clear as well. He said, I will restore the years that the cankerworm and the caterpillar has eaten. So when God makes things beautiful in his time, there's usually no vacuum.
True.
So even if you now marry late, you will never feel it.
I tell you.
Nothing is missing. You know, it's like your marriage is brand new. You know, so there's something about God's timing.
It's the best.
You know, it makes things beautiful in his time.
That's for somebody.
That's powerful.
That's so good. Wow, I think a lot of beautiful gems were shared today, and I hope you enjoyed this conversation and can take something. I think we all can take something, whatever season, whether you're single, married, whatever season of life you're in, I believe you can take something from this chat and take it to the bank. So we're at the end of our conversation. I just want to tell you, if you're in the Indianapolis, Indiana area, I need you to run to Covenant House, Indianapolis tonight. We're on 5310 Lafayette Road. We'll be having the Winlos tonight for the last night of our conference. Come in your numbers and be blessed. Until then, we will see you again. Bye.
Thank you very much, Heaven.
No
Is
problem.
Heaven single?
Heaven is single.
I'm searching.
Heaven is single and searching.
Okay.
So she's available. Hey, follow me.
So if you like Apple, you can. Sorry, my president.
Your president's available.
So you can reach out to me. I can make everything smooth.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
No
you.
problem. We thank you for being around, and
Thank you.
we've loved having you thus far.
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Signing out.